If we have Ivan Toney, we win that game. Morgan Rogers is the closest thing that England are ever going to get to Zinedine Zidane. So yeah, Arsenal beat us 2-0 at Villa Park. It was a very, very close game that realistically Villa should have put to bed within 25 minutes. But before we get into reviewing that game now, I was going to say preview, but we are way past that now. I am trying to blank it out of my memory, of course. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you do not miss a single thing Aston Villa related on the YouTube. Of course, we're going to cover it all the games, all the transfers, all the breaking news on Let's Talk Villa. So leave a like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the Arsenal game. Let's review it. So as you can see, I'll throw these stats up on the screen for you there, and they perhaps don't tell the full story. Obviously, the stat that matters is that Arsenal beat us 2-0, and there's not much that we can do to change that. Now, they did absolutely dominate us in possession. I thought Arsenal actually looked really good on the ball. However, we did have more shots than Arsenal, 11 to their 9. Only 3 of ours on target. Should have obviously been 4, but we're going to talk about that in much more detail very soon. Shots blocked, 5 to their 1. We had 4 corners to their 1. We didn't put in as many crosses or attacking passes, blah de blah de blah. Those stats don't particularly matter. Obviously, the stats that matter is that they won 2-0. But if you look at the stats, apart from the possession, we played a very good game. And I think the possession doesn't particularly matter too much because we clearly set up to frustrate Arsenal, not give them much room in behind our back 4, be tight and compact in that 4-4-2 when defending. It was very, very good. If I can throw out some screenshots from the highlights, I of course will do that. You can see we were very compact in defence. Every defender knew their role. We was forced into that early change, an 18-year-old Costa Nedeljkovic coming on because Matty Cash, well, his hamstring is made of fiberglass, or it's made out of, like, you know those videos where it's like the little, like, I can't even remember the guy's name now, like Salt Bay or whatever, when he's just shredding meat off of a bone. That is Matty Cash's hamstring, and we need to sign a right back. But Costa Nedeljkovic comes on very, very early. I thought he'd done well against Martinelli. Trossard kind of got the better against him. We were very compact, though. Again, I'll be rolling these screenshots as we go. Apart from, a slight error in judgment of Luca Digne, a lucky bounce, and then a goal that Emi Martinez should do better with. But those are the stats. Let's jump into the game and let's talk about the glaring... Are they even elephants in the room, or are they like Diplodocus in a room? Because they're massive. So I don't think Arsenal actually created that much, to be honest. Saka had a good chance early on, a good save by Emi Martinez, but then, oh my god. 0-0 for both of them. Ollie Watkins misses a goal from 7 yards out, literally an open goal. All he had to do was get it on target and he pretty much would have scored it after Rogers put it on a plate after some fantastic work from Leon Bailey. And then the header. Now, don't get me wrong, it is an outrageous save from David Raya. But if we have the likes of like Ivan Toney or someone like that, like a clinical finisher, even a Dom Solanke, that header goes in and we win the game. I don't think, we dominated Arsenal, I think. Not dominated, but definitely in terms of goal scoring opportunities and XG and all the type of metrics you want to talk about, we were so much better in the first 65 minutes. And I think after Ollie Watkins, and let's be honest here, and again, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Look, don't get me wrong, he's just come back from the Euros. He hasn't had a pre-season. But if Ollie Watkins scores either of those chances, I don't see Arsenal getting back in the game because I think our domination would have just been too much. But I think you almost saw our heads drop after that chance, and I literally turned around to my mates on message, and I turned around to my fiance as well, and I said, we're going to lose. When you miss 2 chances like that, you just know the game isn't going to go your way. I mean, first of all, for the second one, it was unlucky because it hit the bar before it came back to Watkins. But once you miss those, like I say, you just know it's not your day. And then we move on. Luca Digne, just a slight lapse in judgment, and we were giving Odegaard way too much room on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball comes through to Saka. Morgan Rogers, a decent defensive tackle, just bounces to Trossard, and again, that inexperience of Nedeljkovic. He just lost Trossard at the key moment when it mattered. He slots it in for 1-0, and as soon as that goal goes in against Arsenal, you know they're going to sit back. You know they're not going to concede. They have the 2 best centre-backs in the league for my money. And then, a lucky goal from Thomas Partey, who is currently playing at Villa Park instead of watching the game from HMP, name a prison. And, the game is done from that point. But like I say, if Ollie Watkins has more of a pre-season, if he's more match fit, if he's more sharp, we win that game. And there's a lot more positives to take out of that game for me than even the West Ham game. I thought our performance in this game was 50 times better than that West Ham game. I think Arsenal played well, but we just matched them stride for stride. And I see all the Arsenal fans being like, this is why Arteta's like 66,000 times the manager Unai Emery is. Unai Emery, and I saw this on Twitter, Unai Emery coached a win, but certain players unfortunately just let him down. And there's nothing you can do sometimes about that Ollie Watkins miss. Well, both of them, to be honest. But we're going to go into the player ratings because there's quite a lot to say about quite a lot of our players, to be honest. I'll pop them up on the screen. First of all, Emi Martinez. I'm going to have to give him a 6 because that save from Saka was outrageous, but he definitely should not have conceded the second goal. Luca Digne, I'm going to have to give a 5-2. I think this game exposed why we've bought Maatsen. He's just not quick enough, and in these games against these elite teams, it was a slight lapse of judgment from him. Allows Saka in down the byline. He doesn't close it down quick enough, and we are 1-0 down. Going in to our centre-backs, I thought Powell and Konsa couldn't really have done much more in the game. They kept the Arsenal relatively quiet. Powell I would have liked to see do a bit more, but I think they can both earn 7s from me. Matty Cash, obviously NA, no rating. He came out after 10-15 minutes. Nedeljkovic, I would give a 7 to. I think he actually had an overall very, very bright game. It's just later on in the game he let Trossard go. And he's 18. He wouldn't have expected to play that many minutes. It will come with time. I can see the potential there. He just slightly let himself down towards the end of the game, but that's all right because he's learning, and he's learning on the job, and that is never easy. Onana, I think we lost a massive bit of presence when he came off. I'd give him an 8. Again, his aerial presence, the way he carries the ball forward, the way he controls midfield, absolutely impressed with him. Same with Tielemans, I'd give him an 8. Again, I thought he was really, really good, instrumental. He is our controller. He's our tempo player. He doesn't ping it forward if he doesn't need to. He knows when he can play it sideways and backwards and regain the tempo, and he controls our midfield. It's really lovely to see. And with a bruiser like Onana next to him, he is really flourishing, and liking him a lot this season. We move out to the left-hand side. John McGinn, I'd give a 6. I don't think he's been particularly impactful so far this season, and if he's not careful, the likes of Jacob Ramsey could definitely nudge him out of that position. Leon Bailey, again, a 7. Should have got the pre-assist with a fantastic bit of work. Obviously, Watkins did miss it. Went down. I was very, very worried when he went down. Managed to get up. He constantly looked a threat, and again, he just looked like he always wants to drive forward. Ollie Watkins is going to have to get a 1, and I'm not saying he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but we should have scored 2 goals in that game. It's 2 clear opportunities. He should have had 2 goals. You can't excuse that in a striker, but I know he will bounce back because he is world class. And then my player of the match, I know it got given to David Raya, and fair enough because he probably did deserve it on the balance of things, but my God, was Morgan Rogers the second coming of Zinedine Zidane. Finally, people are starting to see why I was shouting about him so much. Finally, people are starting to see why the missus has Rogers on the back of her Villa top. He is special, and if he continues to grow at this rate, I have no doubt he'll be an England player by the end of the season. I have no doubt he will be one of the first names on Emery's team sheets. This guy is insane. My overall thoughts on this game. Look, Arsenal fans, enjoy it. Well done. We got 2 over you last season. You've still got to get 2 over us. I still don't think Arsenal look good enough to win the league. Shoot me if you will. I just think that City and Liverpool look leaps and bounds above them. I did think they played very, very well, and that's not to take anything away from Arsenal. They played Villa at their best, and they managed to, look, by hook and by crook, they should have been 2-0 down. They managed to hold on, and sometimes when you're going for a title in the Premier League, you need that luck to go your way. We got it last season against Man City with Leon Bailey's deflected goal. Arsenal got it today. It's a tackle from Morgan Rogers that sets up Trossard when we should have been 2-0 up, and you'd expect a striker like Ollie Watkins to finish that. But I think Villa showed the Premier League that they meant business, and I wouldn't be surprised if all the pundits are saying that from that performance they very much expect Villa to be in and around that top 6 to top 4 shuffle. If we continue to play like that for the rest of the season, we're getting European football again. We are challenging the big boys because, like I say, we replay that game today exactly the same. Ollie Watkins doesn't miss those chances. I don't think there's a chance that Arsenal could win. So overall, I'm very, very positive. Look, I thought Arsenal were brilliant. I thought Aston Villa were brilliant. There's a lot of positives to take from it. I'm not really worried at all. And in the grand scheme of things, we got Leicester next week, so we just go win 5-0.